Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the HOU Bullcast Show. I'm your host, Aaron, and welcome back to another episode. This is another weekly episode that I do every week. I try to get another about one, two, or even try to get three episodes out each week as much as I can for y'all because there's so much news that happens, especially right now when really during some of the off seasons that we've had recently, we're usually just kind of quiet, make a few moves, that's it. But the amount of moves we made, these are all just crazy. And like as Tal says, Nick Casario doesn't stop. He's not stopping this offseason. He wants to make this team a Super Bowl ready team because he knows his defense is a Super Bowl ready defense. He just needs to make sure his offense is a type of offense that can contend to get you there and hopefully, win it all. Defense wins championships, so he wants to make his offense, suitable for his defense to, be the reason we win. But, so you got to make your defense great. You got to make your offense great. We can't make the offense as great as the defense is, but we can manage it and get it to where it can be and to where it can keep fans optimistic for what we hope to see. And we're going to get into it right now. With this offseason so far, like we can't even really dial up if he's going to make another move tomorrow, the next day, or any day like that. But so we can just go off of what he's done so far. And I'm gonna go into the cuts right now, which so far we've cut Tim Settle Jr. He went to the Commanders for and got a contract of 3 years, 24 million. Um, very loved linebacker Christian Harris. He was cut, went to the Falcons, signed a 1 year, up to $3 million deal. I hope he I hope his career can flourish. I loved him. He literally looked like, a type of linebacker that D'Amico had under his wing, and we just don't know what happened. I know it was due to injury and everything, but I just don't know what happened there. But, once again, hats off to Christian Harris. Then you had the cut of Tommy Townsend, who now went to the Titans for a 2 year, $6 million deal. And, he wanted, I'm sure, it was just more of Texans wanted to go cheaper, which is why they traded for Kroger from the Saints. And, Tommy Townsend, he was a great punter, but I guess it's one of those where we don't feel like paying too much for a punter. So it's understanding. And then you had the cuts of Mario Edwards Jr. as well as Kurt Heinisch. And majority of these guys that we cut were all honestly just injured ridden. So it's like, it is what it is because your best availability is, the best ability is your availability. I screw that up. My bad. Uh, but yeah, when it comes to and it's mostly the defense that was riddled with injuries. Within the defensive line, say from the defensive tackles, like I said, Mario Edwards Jr., Kurt Heinisch, Tim Settle, who was hurt. I like Tim Settle, but hey, it is what it is. We're keeping the guys that we know can stay healthy consistently. And with the re-signings that we've done so far, Sheldon Rankins, he got a 2 year contract with 12 mil guaranteed. For the Texans, he played 15 regular season games, ending it with 35 total tackles and 3 sacks, with one fumble recovery for a touchdown, which was against the Jags. And then he played both postseason games with a total of 6 tackles. He had half a sack and a fumble recovery for a touchdown against the Steelers in the was it? Oh crap! Yeah, just the Steelers. It was divisional round in the yeah. No, it wasn't the division round. It was the wild card round. Yeah. I screwed that up as well. My bad. And then we re-signed Naquan Jones, defensive tackle. So two defensive tackles that we re-signed. So, good depth. But Sheldon Rankins is a starter, as well as Tommy Togiai. But you had the re-signing of Naquan Jones for a 1 year deal worth 2 mil, which is cheap. After being cut midseason by the Chargers, he signed and played for the Houston Texans for 5 games, 3 regular season games, and 2 postseason games, where he had 13 total tackles in the regular season and 5 total tackles in the postseason. So depth wise, he is, you know, pretty well for a defensive tackle to rotate when our guys are tired. And then you had the biggest re-signing, which is who we needed desperately back in this organization, which was right guard Ed Ingram to solidify that right guard position, unless we happen to draft somebody young and possibly can take his position if they play well. But we'll get into that. But we re-signed right guard Ed Ingram, who we re-signed for a 3 year, $37.5 million deal after having a standout season, which was he was deserving of it because when we signed him, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's trash. He's nothing. He's not being a good enough guard." And look what he did with us. He looks outstanding. He deserves the money that he got with us. In 2025, he allowed 4 sacks, 4 hits, and a total of 24 pressures with a pass blocking grade of 55.2 and a run blocking grade of 75.6, ranking overall 18th out of 81 in guard play. Now we can see the sacks, we can see the pressures allowed. The run part of the offense line was trash, but the passing, yeah, it says 4 sacks, but honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. Some of those sacks are more likely from CJ because CJ was kind of being an idiot. Instead of running out of the pocket, he would step up and take a sack, or he would just let the pressure get to him. So I can't even. Sometimes I couldn't even blame the offensive line on how they did because CJ was kind of the reason of why a certain play was ended with a amount of loss of yards. So, but regardless, Ed Ingram, he deserves his money. He deserves that right guard position, and that's what he's going to stay as. And then you had the right tackle position of Trent Brown, who we re-signed as well. We got gave him a 1 year deal worth 7 mil, playing in only 7 games due to significant ankle injuries. He missed an important game of the divisional round against in the playoffs against the Patriots. Who knows how that would have happened, how that would have turned out if he played at right tackle? Because I know it was Blake Fisher, and Blake Fisher was not that great in that game. He was still serviceable though throughout his tenure this season, and he was worth resigning instead of letting him go. He only allowed 1 sack in his 7 games and 3 hits and a total pressure of 11 total pressures. His pass blocking grade was ranged around 64.2, and his run blocking grade was ranged around 71.3. So he's a formidable right tackle. He is you know, pretty above average for a right tackle. So if he's going to stay, might as well give him a deal because you want him to stay because you can't just let your offensive line, you know, pretty much you can't just break apart your offensive line the way we thought you were doing this offseason because you got rid of Titus, you got rid of Juice Scruggs, you have no more Kenyon Green. You just got rid of so many guys, and this offensive line was just looking depleted this offseason, and it had us worried. But we'll get into that in a little bit of why I say that. Uh, And then you get to the signings and moves made that Nick Cesario was just rolling the dice with, which was great moves, in my opinion. Like this is one of his best off seasons as the Texans GM, and I am happy about it. And this is why our first move made, David Montgomery, Texans traded this year's 4th round pick, guard Juice Scruggs as 2027 7th round pick when he upgraded David Montgomery's contract, giving him 16.5 million over the next 2 years. So he's deserving of that money. David Montgomery is a starter. He didn't like his role with the Lions. He wanted more of that starter role, and that's what he's going to get with the Texans. Him alongside Woody Marks. I think that's going to be a good duo, running back duo. Uh, so that's one move. Then you got defensive end Dominique Robinson, who's coming from the Bears. He got a 1 year, $4 million contract. Played 10 regular season games for the Bears, ending it with 19 total tackles, 2 sacks with 12 pressures. He played 2 postseason games with the Bears as well, against the Packers and against the Rams. He had 5 total tackles and 1 sack with forced fumble. So to me, he's a pretty good depth piece for the defensive end to rotate out the way we use Derek Barnett and others when Daniil or Will Anderson need to get out of the line to go take a break. So I'm not mad about that signing at all. Then you got another signing, linebacker Jake Hummel. He signed a 2 year, $4.75 million contract with us. So far, from what I'm seeing, he's a proven special teams linebacker. That's all he is. He's more of special teams, and we can't go wrong with anybody on special teams because special teams is a key component for your football team. And Frank Ross loves his tacklers. He loves his hitters. He loves his kicker, his punter. He'll manage the shit out of his special teams team. But Jake Hummel, he's a proven special teams contributor, linebacker playing 82% of special teams snaps for Baltimore last season. He has 49 career tackles, being with the Rams as well before he was with the Ravens. So he's a pretty good depth piece in special teams. So you can't even be mad about that. It's a cheap deal. Um, then to add on to the defensive line depth, or even maybe he can somehow be a starter because he does have talent. We signed defensive end Logan Hall from the Buccaneers. We signed him for a 2 year, $13.75 million contract. Uh, cool thing about him is he played a collegiate career, if you didn't know, with the University of Houston. So shout out to him. And in 2022, Bucks drafted Logan in the second round at pick 33. In 2025, he played all 17 games. So he's pretty healthy. Ending it with 39 tackles, total tackles. He had half a sack with one forced fumble. But like I said, he's a great depth piece, being able to play inside and out. So D'Amico will love this guy, rotating him where he wants to rotate him because D'Amico has that defensive mantra of him, wanting to move his guys in and out, in and out. Like you saw the way he threw Will Anderson back, like looking like a linebacker, and he threw him at the center, and you saw how that turned out. That was crazy if you remember that. I forgot who it was against though. But that's the way D'Amico does it with his defensive guys. And an outstanding signing that a lot of people loved early on, which was the right tackle Braden Smith, who just left the Colts. He signed with us a 2 year deal worth up to $25 million, with 13.5 fully guaranteed. From 2018 to 2025, he has played his NFL career with the Colts, playing strictly at right tackle for 765 snaps. He did play right guard in college, and a lot of Texas fans, a lot of media of Houston was like, "Oh, so are we going to do the way we usually do it, which is rotate guys? Oh, let's rotate guys again, like Titus, like Ariante, like so on and so forth." And no, that's not going to happen. Uh, they from Aaron Wilson, Texas beat reporter. He's Braden Smith stated that playing at right tackle is what he's here for, and that the right guard position was never brought into consideration. So I'm happy to hear that. But with this past season with the Colts, his pass blocking grade was at ranged around at 71.9, and his run blocking grade at 58. So I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a battle between him and Trent Brown of who takes that right tackle position, and it's gonna be nice to see because we haven't had this in a minute, knowing that we have a battle at the tackle position for two good tackles, and whoever takes that position, I'm pretty sure the others is not going to mind. They're just going to be there ready in case something happens, and they're going to fill the role back up perfectly once again. But I really think it might be Braden Smith that takes that starting position at the right tackle position. Uh, and then we went on to sign tight end Foster Moreau, who just came from the Saints. We signed him for a 2 year deal worth up to 7.3 million. Coming in, definitely he is labeled as a strong blocker from what I've read around news reports and Saints media. He's a strong blocker. He's more of a blocker, but he is a pretty good catcher. Um, he's what we desperately need due to the injuries and lack of play of Brevin Jordan and Kate Stover. We don't know how them guys are going to turn out. Brevin has had the past few seasons derailed due to injury, and Cade Stover, he'll come back from injury and it doesn't do nothing. He doesn't look that great, so I don't know how much longer we'll see of Cade Stover. He might honestly be cut by training camp. We'll see because Cade Stover just isn't it as we thought he would have been. We know them white farmers are the toughest. But Cade Stover, he just doesn't look right in the system. But we'll see what happens. But with Foster Moreau in the past 3 seasons with the Saints, Foster has accumulated 60 receptions for 665 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. So he has talent when receiving because that's what a tight end needs to do. But he's a strong blocker, and you have Dalton Schultz along, who's a starter, no doubt starter, who is more the pass catcher. He will block when he needs to block, and he will do his best. But having Foster Moreau there is a definite upgrade at that tight end position. And then our biggest signing, which was an interesting one, was safety Reed Blankenship, who just left the Eagles after his rookie contract was over. He signed with us a 3 year, $24.75 million contract. He's played with the Eagles his entire NFL career, 3 year NFL. Was it 3 or 4 year tenure with the Eagles from 2022 to 2025, winning a Super Bowl with the Eagles in the process. In 2025, he played 1,009 snaps at safety with 66 solo tackles, 13 assists, one forced fumble, and one interception, as well as a pass breakup. He didn't have the breakout season as anybody would think, but Eagles just didn't look that great this season. They honestly were fighting themselves from the inside. I mean, look at them; they're already trying to get rid of AJ Brown. They're trying to get rid of who they can to try to reshape this team, and that's why they got rid of Reed Blankenship. It is due to the amount of contracts that they are going to have to offer to all their young guys who, were part of that Super Bowl defense. So we'll see how they do with their team. But with us, we signed Reed Blankenship. Uh, he rose from an undrafted rookie to now a 4-year starter who was labeled as a team captain last season with the Eagles, as well as now joining a Super Bowl caliber defense who we definitely need this leadership. Somebody with the Super Bowl experience like Reed Blankenship who will go alongside Kalen Bullock, and I think it will be a great tandem at safety with him and Kalen Bullock. Look, this is going to be a nasty secondary, even better than this past season because when it came to the safety position last season, we had MJ Stewart who went down. We had Jalen Reed who went down. We just had tons of safeties go down as well as cornerback depth that went down, and it was just like we just had to rely on Kalen, Jalen, Kamari, and Sting. And it's just like, we need some more depth, and that's what we did. And we needed another starter, and that's what we did. We signed Reed Blankenship, and people are mad, yeah, because we could have used that money to go sign Cade Mays, center from the Panthers, who went on to sign with, oh, I forgot who he signed with, but he went on to somewhere else. Tyler Linderbaum, who went to the Raiders, just so on and so forth. Just money that we could have used on guards that we needed, or even a center that we needed to take over Jake Andrews' spot. So I know a lot of Texas fans are mad. Me, I'm not so mad about it because I know we can look into the draft of who we can get, but it's going to be tough to rely on a rookie guard or even a rookie center, with this misshapen offensive line the way it's going. But we'll see as it goes. But Reed Blankenship, I'm not giving that a bad grade at all. I'm not discrediting Nick with that move at all. I like the move. It is what it is. He's going to be a good safety alongside Kalen Bullock. Then a couple days later, we signed offensive guard Evan Brown, who just left the Cardinals. He signed with us with a 1-year deal up to $3.5 million. The Texans are his seventh team in his NFL career, and that he has joined since entering the league in 2018. In 2025, he played 770 snaps at left guard for the Cardinals, allowing 1 sack and 5 hits with a total of 34 pressures. His pass blocking grade was 60.2 and run blocking grade 49. Honestly, he's below average. Uh, but that's what we said about Ed Ingram. He was pretty below average coming into the season. But, we'll see how it goes. If he gets put at left guard, it is what it is. But he is a good depth piece in case we can find somebody better than him at that left guard position. And, I think he'll stick on this team, but he'll be a depth piece in case we find somebody else. But, is what it is. At least Nick Casario went out to sign a guard, and even though he's not the best, he's serviceable, I guess. And I know I said about Evan Brown that, maybe he's going to be the starter at left guard position. It is what it is. We're trying to shape this offensive line as much as we can from last year. It was rotation after rotation after rotation the first 4 or 5 games until we finally found our spot. Uh, but it's definitely the reason why it derailed us in the postseason, which is why CJ got hit so much, which is why he got pressured so much against that Patriots defense. And coming into this offseason, it's like, bro, we gotta upgrade this interior because the tackles they're good. Trim Brown, when healthy, is good. Now Braden Smith, he's good. Ariante Ursary, who's coming off a great rookie year, he's great. The interior, the center, it's untrustworthy. Ed Ingram at right guard, you can trust him, but the center and left guard, you got to upgrade that. And Evan Brown at left guard, you got to upgrade it. Even though I just said he can, I guess, be serviceable at the left guard position. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all guys. Last night I was writing down my notes for this video and everything, and I was gonna put at the end of it, we need to go sign Wyatt Taylor. He's just sitting there. He is sitting there, and we need him for that left guard position. He is serviceable. He will be the greatest signing of this offseason because it's a must of what we need. And I was gonna tell y'all that in this video of why we need him so badly. And maybe if we don't get him, then who we can look at in the draft, and not even waking up the next morning, going to work, and getting through a few hours of work until about 12 o'clock at lunchtime, my lunch break. Get out, look at my phone. Nick Casario decided, let's pull them. Let's make it happen. He signed left guard Wyatt Teller to a 2-year, $16 million deal worth up to 23 mil, giving him 8 mil per year. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler from 21, 22, and 23. He's an AP second time All Pro from 20 and 21. He played at right guard for 765 snaps for the Browns. His pass blocking grade was 53.1. His run blocking grade was 65.7 this season. He didn't have one of his best seasons this year with the Browns, but it's the Browns. They had a piss poor season. They didn't know who they were except for we got Miles Garrett. That's all you got. But Wyatt Teller is the best signing we could have made this season for our guard position because now our offensive line set. We can just go draft a center if we want. If we can go draft another guard, that's definitely a must for more depth. But definitely go draft a center as well. Maybe a battle Jake Andrews for his spot. But signing Wyatt Teller for that left guard position is just the biggest key piece to this offensive line, and it fills the biggest hole that we needed because now we can just go crazy of who we can, go after in the draft. Because our potential offensive line coming up this season is left tackle Arian Ursary, left guard Wyatt Teller, center Jake Andrews, our possible rookie, right guard Ed Ingram, right tackle Braden Smith slash Trent Brown, whichever or wins that position at the right tackle position, and messing with my light right now, my bad. So yeah, it's a tackle fight between Braden Smith and Trent Brown. Uh, so seeing this offensive line, this is crazy to see. I didn't think we'd see this upgrade at the offensive line as much as we thought. Well, getting Wyatt Teller is definitely the biggest upgrade we could have gotten, and this is the hope that we need. This is coming into the season. There's no more blame on the offensive line because this offensive line is going to show up and show out. They will not get pushed back because Wyatt Teller, Braden Smith, all of these guys, they will not get pushed back. They will be the leaders for this offensive line alongside these young guys like Ariana Ursary. And in case we draft a center that takes over Jake Andrews' job. And now with the draft thoughts, though, uh, heading into that first pick, I might say just go after defense tackles. Defense tackle is definitely our biggest must now because at first we're thinking that guard position was our must right now, but we just signed White Teller, we re-signed Eddie Ingram, we signed Evan Brown. We're pretty set at the interior now. But definitely sign depth, definitely draft depth. I mean, at the guard position, like I said, draft a center. Once again, I know I'm going to reiterate that, but definitely draft a center. Draft a running back to be along David Montgomery, or even to be along David Montgomery and Woody Marks. Um, because I definitely want to see how a rookie can do. I love Woody, but bring in another rookie. Let's see what he can do. Uh, Draft a linebacker because at linebacker you got EJ, you got Henry, and you got Aziz. We definitely need another linebacker. Um, somebody that can learn alongside Aziz, the veteran that we have, the veteran and captain that he is. Uh, like I said, draft some defensive interior players because all we got right now at the defense tackle position is Sheldon Rankins, Naquan Jones, Tommy Togiai, Logan Hall, and Lee too. I think that's how you say his name. My bad if I butchered it. But with that first pick, I definitely say we will draft a defensive tackle, somebody that D'Amico wants, somebody that D'Amico is going to utilize like so well because we addressed that guard position with Wyatt Teller. Now, y'all let me know how y'all think Nick Casario's offseason has gone so far this season because you don't know. Maybe he'll make some more moves, quiet moves, depth moves. We only got a month. Only got a month until the draft. We're almost there. This offseason is going to be fun. This upcoming season training camp will be fun. Everything about the season is going to be fun. This is the potential Super Bowl offense that we need because you got everybody coming back. You got Tank Dell coming back. You have Nico with Tank. You you have all these guys coming back. You got Nico, Tank, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. You got Dalton, you got Brevin, you got Foster Moreau, you got Cade. This offensive line can be good compared to last year, but it's just all about making it happen, especially with the man who wears the number 7, CJ Stroud. You've got the offensive line now. Protect him. We can't make no excuses this year anymore. This is the year that we need to make shit happen. But overall, guys, this is HLU Bullcast. This is Aaron. I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate the love, the amount of views y'all show my videos. Please like these videos. Please share it. I'm not the best. I'm still starting off new with talking in front of a camera. So I know my awkwardness and my stuttering can be annoying, but hey, it's just a startup, but we're going to make it better and better. But that's based off of y'all showing love to my videos, showing love to my channel. I will truly appreciate it if y'all show it as much love as much more love as y'all have already. But I can't thank y'all enough. This is HOU Bullcast once again. Appreciate y'all so much, and y'all have a great week. God bless.